beds and stuff like that. But there it was the Harley Davidson, the huge motorcycle, the huge Cadillacs with the wings and all that stuff. So everything was just gigantic.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is a dual Austrian-American actor, film producer, businessman, former bodybuilder, and politician who served as California's 38th governor from 2003 to 2011. As of 2022, he's the state's most recent Republican governor. Schwarzenegger was named one of Time magazine's 100 most important persons in the world in 2004 and 2007. Schwarzenegger began lifting weights at the age of 15 and won the Mr. Universe title at the age of 20, followed by 7 Mr. Olympia titles. He's a famous figure in bodybuilding and has authored numerous books and articles on the subject. He's the namesake of the Arnold Sports Festival, which is regarded as the second most prominent bodybuilding contest after Mr. Olympia.
And I felt like, well, you know, if I really do well in bodybuilding, and if I could become like one of those guys, like Steve Reeves or Reg Park.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video.
His full name is Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger, but is also known as Arnold. He was born on July 30th, 1947 in Thal, Styria, Allied-occupied Austria, making him 74 at the time of this production. He stands at 6 feet 2 inches tall. Rocking for a young man was a manic hobby. Schwarzenegger in his youth regularly worked out in the gym. It got to the point that on weekends when it was closed, Arnold climbed through a hole in the fence to get to his beloved iron. This was a serious hobby for a young man, not like for others, for the sake of attention of the representatives of the beautiful half of humanity. He set a goal: to become the best bodybuilder. Arnold wanted fame. In order to improve the results in a rocking chair, he changed his diet. He gave preference to meat, plus he began to use anabolic steroids. Arnold was married to television news personality Maria Shriver, niece of President John F. Kennedy, from 1986 to 2017. They have 4 children together, including Catherine, who would later marry actor Chris Pratt, and model Patrick. Arnold and Maria's relationship ended in 2011 after news broke that he'd fathered a son 14 years earlier with the family housekeeper. Their divorce took 6 years to settle. Arnold kept their longtime family home in Brentwood, while Maria used his funds to acquire a new home nearby. They maintain joint ownership of family vacation properties in Sun Valley, Idaho, and Hyannisport, Massachusetts.
Love with that, and I said to myself, I got to get to America. But I always, for some reason or the other, felt that I was in the wrong place.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in the tiny village of Thal, Austria. His father, Gustav, was the local chief of police, and his mother was a homemaker. In 1960, Schwarzenegger's soccer coach took him to the local gym and introduced the 13-year-old to the world of bodybuilding. His father originally wanted the young Arnold to become a police officer. His mother wanted him to attend a trade school. Arnold knew he was destined for something very different outside of their small Austrian village. After learning that some recent winners of the Mr. Universe competition went on to have successful acting careers, Arnold immediately set his sights on becoming the most famous professional bodybuilder in the world. In 1965, Arnold won the Junior Mr. Europe contest. In 1967, at the age of 20, he became the youngest person to win the Mr. Universe title. Arnold would go on to win the title 3 more times. Even with all his success as a bodybuilder, Schwarzenegger still found time to attend business school in his spare time. In 1970, he was awarded his first Mr. Olympia title, which he would go on to win several more times during his career. After winning Mr. Olympia, Arnold was given his first big break in the film business when he was cast in the feature film Hercules in New York. Arnold's fame became even more well-known in 1977 after the release of the bodybuilding documentary Pumping Iron. His fame continued to grow with movies like Conan the Barbarian, but his career didn't really take off until he was cast in the 1984 blockbuster The Terminator. He earned $75,000 for his work in The Terminator, which went on to earn $80 million worldwide. After Terminator, Arnold's career was launched into the stratosphere. He followed up with hits like The Running Man, Red Heat, and The Predator. He even dabbled in comedy with Ivan Reitman's 1988 film Twins, which co-starred Danny DeVito. In the 1990s, Arnold returned to his role of the Terminator with his friend and director James Cameron. The two would even go on to even more success with True Lies. Schwarzenegger rounded out the 90s with movies like Last Action Hero, Eraser, and finally Batman and Robin. Schwarzenegger has been a longtime member of the Republican Party. He even appeared at the 2004 National Republican Convention, making a speech on why he became a Republican. In 2003, he shocked the nation when he announced on The Tonight Show that he was running for governor of California. Arnold served as governor from 2003 to 2011.
Said, we want to welcome you and invite you and welcome you in America at the Mr. Universe contest in Florida.
In the 1988 movie Twins, Arnold, Danny DeVito, and director Ivan Reitman all agreed to take zero salary from the studio in exchange for owning 40% of the film, 13.33% each. The movie was a smash hit and went on to earn more than $215 million worldwide at the box office. It was also a hit on VHS and on cable. In a March 2014 interview, Arnold claimed that he earned more from Twins than any of his other movies throughout his entire career. He said the same is presumably true for Reitman and DeVito. Assuming Arnold and Danny and Ivan each made $35 to $40 million from the movie in 1988, after adjusting for inflation, that's equal to earning $70 to $80 million. The trio would go on to reunite for the film Junior. Arnold earned $2 million for Commando, $3.5 million for Predator, $11 million for Total Recall, $12 million for both Kindergarten Cop and Terminator 2. In Terminator 2, Arnold only had 700 words of dialogue, equating to $21,429 per spoken word. In 2003, Arnold negotiated an upfront salary of $29.25 million plus a 20% royalty on gross profits over $380 million for Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. The movie went on to earn $433 million globally, bringing Arnold's total paycheck up to an estimated $35 million. During his career to date, Arnold has earned at least $400 million from film salaries alone before taxes. Arnold's net worth is estimated to be $450 million. In September 1968, at the age of 21, Schwarzenegger moved to America with $27,000 to his name, all of which was saved up from winning competitions. Soon after arriving in Hollywood, Arnold began making small investments in real estate. He bought a small plot of land in Palmdale, California that was rumored to soon become the home of a supersonic airport. Though his first investment flopped, Arnold was undeterred. He took his remaining funds and borrowed $10,000 from his trainer at Gold's Gym in Venice, California, to buy an apartment building. The purchase price was $214,000. A year later, he sold the building for $360,000. He then traded up to a 12-unit building, followed by a 36-unit building, followed by a 100-unit building. Each time Arnold sold a building, he would pour the profits into the next venture to avoid taxes and increase his potential future return. By the time he was 25 years old, Arnold had become a real estate millionaire. Today, Arnold owns a vast real estate portfolio made up of commercial properties primarily in Southern California. Not including his personal homes, the portfolio is worth north of $100 million. Cars you'll find in Arnold's garage include a Tesla Roadster, a Cadillac Eldorado, an Excalibur, a custom Chrysler Electric G500, a Hummer H1 Slantback, and a Porsche Turbo.